Welcome. Happy Wednesday. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another Apple Home Talk Live. This is a live stream all about building a smart home. So glad you could make it here today. We've got some good stuff to talk about today. Exciting stuff coming soon. Let's first say hi to some folks in the chat, see how you guys are doing. Looks good, sounds great. Thank you, Frederick. Appreciate the feedback. Let's check our pop-ups there. Looking good. All right. Hope you're doing well, Frederick, and everybody else. Happy Wednesday. Larry, what's up, Larry? Having a good day. Having a good day so far. I sure am. I appreciate that. Hope you are as well. What's up, Juan? We got Peter from Denmark. Good to see you, Peter. Let's see who else we got. Oh, we got Hilton Head in the house. What's up, Saul Goodman? Hilton Head in the house. I almost wore my Hilton Head shirt today. I've got a shirt from, what is it, Skull Creek? I think it's Skull Creek right there in Hilton Head. I almost wore it today. Palmakit, what's up, Palmakit? And George Langerbeer, what's up, George in the house? Big shout out to George. What's up, George? You just got the news that you are, I think it's 3 years now, cancer-free, or I guess, is that the right term? Cancer-free. Just had another scan. So thank you for the updates that we got on Instagram for those who've been following along George's cancer journey. Fellow content creator, shout out to George. Go check out George's channel if you haven't, but awesome to hear. So excited. I know you're probably on cloud nine this week, man. So that's awesome. Torin, what's up, Torin? Houston is in the house. Let's see. Ratchet Gang, what's up? Are you a golfer? Am I a golfer? I don't know if that question is for me. I'm assuming I am not a golfer. As much as I wish I was, I really tried. The golfing gene runs deep in my family. It just missed me. It just missed me. I tried. My grandfather, my father, both are just absolutely obsessed with golf and have been for many years. And I couldn't do it. I tried. I don't know. I get a little bored out there, I think is what it is. Let's see, say hi to a few more folks in the chat. Raul, what's up, Raul? From Switzerland. We meeting again at IFA. I hope so, man. I was just asked yesterday, actually, from somebody if I'm going to be attending IFA this year, and I am planning on it. I haven't booked anything yet, but I really want to go. I've heard of some folks that are going to be out there as well, some different companies and stuff like that. So for those that don't know, IFA is a big tech trade show in Berlin, Germany. Every year it's around early September. And if I'm not mistaken, yeah, it's early September. And I went last year for the first year. It was awesome. Saw Raul and some other people out there. So I hope to make it back. It's kind of like Europe's version of CES is kind of how I would classify it for those who aren't aware. But a lot of the brands that we know and love and talk about here on these streams are over there. And so, yeah, I definitely hope to go again. But I will be going to Houston for that Matter CSA event here very soon in June. And then I do plan also to go to CES again, which isn't until January. But those are kind of the big ones on the books right now for sure. Nice. Palmakit also saw out there, has already booked IFA this year. Yeah, I really hope to make it. It's a long trip. It's a long trip for me, but hopefully I'll be able to do it again this year. Oh, sorry. I said Houston. Thank you for the correction there. I think I read a comment. Where did I get Houston from? I think somebody mentioned Houston in a comment. Yes, it's in Austin. Correct. Sorry about that. The Matter CSA event is in Austin, not in Houston. That's my mistake. That's right. Let's see. Checking out the chat, trying to catch up here with you guys in the chat. Okay, okay. I knew there was an official term. Thank you, George. 3 years NED, no evidence of disease is what it's called. So on George's cancer update, they're considered at 5 years considered cured. So 3/5 of the way there, stage 4. Yeah, that was quite the battle you have had to undergo. So we've all been rooting for you and excited to see those updates. Glad you're doing well, man. Can't wait to hang out again, hopefully at one of these tech events, if not sooner. Let's see. I see some questions coming in. I will save the questions. First, let's go ahead and jump into a few things I want to talk about, a few bits of news. If you have questions, you can drop them in the chat and I'll try to pinpoint them and save them as we go along. First thing to mention for the channel members here, today is the first Wednesday of the month. So after the stream today, we'll have our monthly member hangout over on Discord. So if you're available today after the stream, come over there to Discord, hang out, do a little video chat over there. With the channel members every month. So that's always a lot of fun. If you're around, would love to see you over there later today. Next is, obviously, we do have WWDC coming up very soon, less than a week away, I guess now. So I don't really have anything to report on that other than it's happening. I didn't get invited, so I won't be there. Another thing we do over in the member Discord server is during those keynotes, we have a little hangout, so I'll be there chatting with everybody who's around watching live during the keynote. Hopefully we'll have some Apple smart home related news this year at WWDC. I would love to see something, so I don't know. We should take some bets here and see what everybody thinks, if there's going to be any Apple home related news. I think we're going to get some updates on Siri, the voice assistant, so I would, and Apple Intelligence. So I would hope that there will be some tie-ins with the smart home. I think that's been maybe a big part of the holdup with some of the new smart home products and stuff that have been rumored. So we'll see, but I'm definitely going to be watching closely. Can't wait to see. Ethan, excuse me. When are we going to do a full video on Matter buttons controlling Nanoleaf products? And good afternoon. I did do a whole video on the Nanoleaf buttons and sensors and stuff like that. I don't think I specifically talked about controlling Nanoleaf products with that, but I'm not sure if I'll have a full video on that specifically. It's a very specific request there, but yeah, I mean, with the buttons, just like any other, I'm trying to think, I do have a button. It's attached right here out of frame. It's magnetically attached to my Nanoleaf pegboard, but you can use those to control anything just like you would. You just like any smart button, really. Ricardo says, Aqara is having a beta test on their blind tilts. Not sure if you have an NDA, but 1 blink if you have and 2 blinks if you don't. How many blinks is that? I saw that somewhere. The Aqara, I wonder if I can find that online. I can't remember where I saw that. Might not be available. Might not. Roller. No, that's not it. They've got a couple of like shade devices that they've had over the past. Yeah, I don't think this is the one you're talking about right here. I think I'm not sure, but yeah, so in other words, I don't have that one. Anyways, I got off track. So yes, WWDC is coming. Excited about that. Let's see. The next thing I wanted to mention, a couple of new smart home, well, before we get to new smart home devices, first I want to mention this because this was, I saw a few people send me this. I need to fix my monitor here. Sorry. All right, there we go. That's better. A few people sent me this and there's been some questions and stuff, so I just thought we would talk about this and clear this up. Actually, Nanoleaf gets brought up quite a bit in these live streams. And this article came out on Matter Alpha just in the past week or so, I believe. And they said SwitchBot brightens its smart home portfolio with Nanoleaf acquisition. Okay, so this article kind of, I don't know. Have you guys read this, first of all? Let me know if you've read this, if you've seen this. I'm not going to read the whole thing, obviously, but it kind of frames it as, kind of leaves it open to wonder if like Nanoleaf is just dissolving into SwitchBot. But we also talk about SwitchBot a lot here on the channel, another big smart home company. But this is some pretty big news. Nanoleaf, I've got a ton of Nanoleaf products here in my studio, all around my studio, and I've been using them for a long time. They were like the first smart bulb, I think, to support Thread and Matter over Thread, even HomeKit over Thread before Matter. But anyways, this kind of made it sound like, I don't know, it was kind of up in the air. Is Nanoleaf going away? What's going to happen to my existing products? Are they going to stop working? Are they going to keep making products? But I just wanted to clarify because I actually spoke with the CEO, Jimmy Chu of Nanoleaf, and he kind of clarified a little bit that Nanoleaf is not going away. So they kind of classified it as a merger, but essentially they're being bought by the parent company of SwitchBot, which is, I think, One Robotics, I think is the name of it. But anyways, SwitchBot and Nanoleaf will be kind of under the same parent company moving forward. And I was reassured that Nanoleaf is not going away. They're going to both continue operating as separate companies doing their own things. The big difference, I guess, I can see some good things on both sides. I guess on the Nanoleaf side, it sounds like they're just going to have more resources. Many people may not know that Nanoleaf has always been kind of a small team, actually a pretty small team considering their reach and everything over the past, 10 years or so. But yeah, so they're going to have, I think, more resources in terms of probably a lot of things. And then on the SwitchBot side, it's probably good because SwitchBot does some really cool, unique stuff. But I think lighting has always been kind of one of the areas that they've been a little bit lacking in. They do have some like Matter over Wi-Fi smart lights. They have a few of them now, but definitely nothing like Nanoleaf has. So maybe they'll both be able to kind of like play off each other a little bit. So that could be good. And just to see Nanoleaf maybe be able to like move quicker or, release updates and things like that a little bit quicker with more resources could be a good thing. Obviously, SwitchBot has been really big into like the robotics side of things lately. So it should be interesting, but Turin says new name, SwitchLeaf. Wiscedia, yeah, that's another thing. Good point. Wiscedia says, I hope SwitchBot moves a bit more to Matter over Thread, no more Bluetooth. So I have seen they do still release certainly Matter through bridge devices utilizing Bluetooth regarding SwitchBot. I have seen them push more and do more Matter over Wi-Fi devices in the past maybe year or so. But obviously, Nanoleaf being one of the first companies out there to support Matter over Thread in some of their devices, that could be something that maybe we'll see is maybe SwitchBot will get more into the whole Thread game. Also, another thing is that Nanoleaf, so like on the SwitchBot side of things, it could probably be beneficial because Nanoleaf actually has some pretty good like reach in terms of retail stores and stuff. Like they're in Apple stores, they're in Walmart and things like that, where I don't think SwitchBot is. So maybe they can kind of utilize some of those connections. I don't know. I could see probably good things on both sides. I'm just happy that all my Nanoleaf devices will keep working. They're going to keep selling all the products, like all the lines and the shapes and the stuff like that I really like. I use a bunch of those here specifically in my studio, but I've got a few of them around the house as well. So just wanted to give a little update on that. If you guys have any questions, I will do my best to answer. Let's see, any more notes on that? Yeah, I think that's about it. on that end. Regarding SwitchBot, Sigmund Judge, what's up, Sigmund? Good to see you. Happy pre-WWDC, everyone. That's right. Good to see you, man. I know you will be anxiously waiting as well, waiting and watching to see what happens there with WWDC. Speaking of SwitchBot, real quick, a couple more devices that I think this one is new. I remember seeing this. Well, it says new arrival. I'm not 100% sure when this became available, but this is an e-ink display that is basically just a weather station, but it does support Matter over bridge, so you do have to have a bridge. And it looks like, I'm not really sure, I haven't used this one, I'm not really sure what all is like ported over through Matter. I assume it's probably not much, at least not in the beginning. Down here, like you see, they've got the little Apple Home display, and it looks like temperature, humidity, and 2 buttons. So there's 2 programmable buttons on this, but you can use this to display different things. Looks like maybe some daily verses, Bible verses, calendar, environmental data, a nice little daily overview, countdowns. So this is pretty cool. I saw this, it was either at CES or IFA, I remember seeing. And so for those who could utilize something like this could be a pretty neat device. I know some people like to really heavily customize stuff like this with like Home Assistant and things like that, using other little e-ink displays. I'm not sure how customizable something like this will be, but definitely something to check out. And it looks like it is now available. So for about $85, and you can kind of actually get it to display. Let me see some of these pictures here. You can get it to display like multiple sensors, you know, in and around your house, which is kind of cool. So pretty neat little product. They also have some new smart locks. These are on pre-order. I have been using one of these. They've got vision recognition, palm vein recognition, fingerprint sensors, like a ton of ways to unlock the door. So that's another one from... And see, this is one of the Matter over Wi-Fi devices. Like, this is their first smart lock that supports Matter over Wi-Fi and not Matter over bridge, using one of the SwitchBot hubs. So some really nice things about this lock. Unfortunately, it doesn't support Apple HomeKit or the ultra wideband unlocking, but facial recognition is really cool. Palm vein, so some pretty cool stuff here. They actually have 2 new smart locks coming out. There's the SwitchBot Lock Vision and the Vision Pro, but I'll probably do a video on that. Actually, I am doing a video on that, so stay tuned for more if you're interested in either of those. Let me check out the comments real quick. Yeah, Technicavivant. I'm sure I butchered that, sorry. Technicavivant. It would be cool if the panel had ESP32 in it that could be flashed, yeah. Like I said, those who really want to customize it, I'm not sure what all you can do with it, but I kind of doubt you'll be able to customize it too much like some of those other devices. Let's see. Oh, interesting. John Wolf says Amazon is selling IKEA stuff right now. That's interesting. I didn't know that. I'll have to check that out. Kevin Smart Home. What's up, Kevin? Kevin's Smart Home just became a channel member. Thank you so much for joining and becoming a channel member. Appreciate you joining us. Like I said, we have that member chat today in our Discord server, so you can head over to our Discord server if you want to check that out. The other thing I wanted to mention, then we'll get to some questions. If you guys have some questions, you can go ahead and drop them in the chat, and I'll do my best to answer here in a second. But the other one thing I wanted to show you, in case you guys didn't see this, was the Controller for HomeKit app now has what they're calling Controller for HomeKit AI. So they have an AI capability now built into the Controller for HomeKit app. If you've been following me long enough, you've probably heard us just talk about the controller for HomeKit app. It's a really good app, I think, for kind of like HomeKit power users, especially those who maybe haven't gone or don't want to go like the Home Assistant route. You can do a lot of stuff with the controller for HomeKit app that you can't really do natively in HomeKit, but it still utilizes like the HomeKit API and all that stuff. So it is still a HomeKit. You just get access to kind of a lot more of HomeKit really using this app. And they just released this new feature, and I tested it out a little bit. It's pretty neat. I want to test out some more. I might make a video about it. I've been thinking about that. I don't know if you guys would want to see, you know, an updated video on the controller for HomeKit app. This app actually does so much stuff that it would probably be hard to fit it all in an app, or in a single video. Oh, I just saw your comment there, Larry. Can you talk more about the controller for HomeKit update? So, and Vito says, it's a good app. Didn't test the AI. Still have reservations about AI. Totally understand. What's really cool about this, let's discuss it a little bit. So I think it may be better so basically using AI, and it's kind of got like an AI chatbot. You can use voice or you can type it out. And basically allows you to use AI to create one of three things: a scene, an automation, or a workflow. Workflow is kind of exclusive to the controller for HomeKit app, but it basically can use your voice and AI to create an automation or a scene. I was trying to mess around with this earlier. The scene actually worked pretty good. I haven't dove too deep in the automation side of it yet to see what all it can do. But for example, check this out. This example right here says, wake me up at 6:45 on weekdays with slowly warming light, bedroom shades up when I get up, and then it will kind of create this this automation here. Start event 6:45, conditions Monday through Friday. So it's adding the conditions in there. It's adding your lights, repeat actions, and all this stuff, which is pretty impressive. This might be, so this would be considered a workflow. I was going to say, I don't know if you could do that natively in the Apple Home automations, but it creates this workflow all by just telling it what you want it to do, which is pretty cool. Here's some other examples here. If someone comes home at night, turn on only the hallway light to 15%, and then it creates this automation. If the hallway has motion between a certain time, turn the hallway light to 15%. The scene, movie night, dim the living room lights to 20% and close the curtains. That's pretty cool. So, and Jeff says, what could go wrong? Yeah. So I kind of am hesitant too when it comes to AI controlling my smart home. This method I don't mind because it's basically using AI to help you create stuff that you might want to create anyways, like scenes or automations. It's not like just giving AI control of your home. It's basically using AI to generate those, Apple Home scenes or automations for you, which is actually pretty useful. The example I did earlier, let me see if I'll see if I can pull up the example that I did earlier today. Was that today? I wonder if it saved it in here. Let's see. Yeah, so I did an automation, or I created a scene, and I just told the AI, close the studio shades, turn the skylight off, and turn the rest of the lights in the studio to orange and red colors. And there's a bunch of lights in my studio, all over the walls. I got Nanoleaf, mostly Nanoleaf, a Govee light, so all kinds of stuff here, and it just created the scene. And normally that would have taken a whole lot of manual, me going in there, having to choose the color, brightness, all that for all these different lights, and control the shades, each one, having to set those positions and everything. And it took a few seconds, and then just did it all for me. And then you can go in there and you can adjust it. You can change something if it didn't get anything right. I think it did add 1 or 2 lights that I didn't want in there, and I just was able to delete that, but it was actually pretty cool. So I think that's maybe a good use case for that. Yeah, so it's kind of like I've seen a lot of people using like AI to help create automations, especially with like Home Assistant and stuff like that. So it's kind of like along those lines, except the controller for HomeKit app actually has access to your Apple Home data. So it can just kind of create it all for you without you still having to go manually do everything, which is pretty nice. And this is kind of the stuff, I wonder if this is one of those features that, you know, Apple Home might eventually Sherlock. I don't know, because it does seem like that's a great use for an updated Siri and your smart home automations and stuff like that, is to be able to just use your voice, you know, tell your HomePod or your iPhone to create these automations and it'll do it for you. It's got access to all your home data. Maybe, maybe not. We'll see. Turin says it looks like the controller for HomeKit app is using the Shortcuts app for those automations. I don't think it is. So it actually is using, it's just like the controller for HomeKit app normally does. At least I haven't played around with it a ton, so, you know, take that for what it is. I'm going to play around with it some more, but it looks like just as when you create a HomeKit, when you create a scene or an automation in the controller for HomeKit app, it actually generates an actual scene that is, it's an Apple Home scene. So you can actually see those in the Apple Home app. So when I created that scene that I was talking about earlier, for example, it actually created a scene and it was visible in the Apple Home app. So I think that appears to be how, at least from what I can tell, how it's working. Frederick says, on the control for HomeKit, I have Essentials Lifetime, and it's asking me to upgrade to get this. It should be available to everybody. Let me see. I think there was another. Yeah, it says here it should be available for every plan. Sorry. Part of the controller for HomeKit 9.0 and is available to all users at no additional cost. Essentials and Plus subscribers, as well as lifetime license holders, can use the feature immediately. I didn't have any issues with it. I have the lifetime license, but it looks like it should be available to everybody. So if it's not, then maybe reach out to their support and see if they could get that worked out. Yeah, like I said, I did just mention this. So Simple PC UK says, announced the week before Apple announces Siri will do this natively. I would be, I don't want to say shocked, pleasantly surprised. I expect this thing from Apple and from Siri, but I don't know. I've just learned and been burned enough in the past when it comes to expectations. I just try not to expect anything, but this is the kind of stuff you would expect and you would hope an advanced Siri would be able to do with your smart home. So I totally agree. Will they announce something like that? I don't know. I sure do hope so, though. And kind of to that, Sigmund Judge asked, what is the bare minimum you'll be happy with for home and automations on Monday? Any hopes for DocKit, tvOS, media playback interactions, better climate integrations? Man, I don't know. I feel like You might be asking for a lot when it comes to all that stuff in regards to an Apple keynote for WWDC. I could be totally wrong, but I don't know how much they'll go into depth into new HomeKit features. I mean, at this point, like, it's been very little for years now. At this point, I would just be happy for them to discuss anything new or any updates for the smart home. So you said the bare minimum that I'll be happy with. Literally, if they just talk about smart home stuff at all, that would be the bare minimum that I'd be happy about. If they announce any updates at all regarding the smart home, I would be happy. Again, I keep my expectations pretty low, and that's for a reason. So I don't know. This should be the year. I really hope we hear something. Maybe we will. Maybe we don't. You guys know I don't really chase and follow the rumors too much, but I really hope that that we hear some updates. Again, using the new Siri, and it would be awesome if they mentioned some hardware updates that are going to come later this year, but I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, with Cedia, sounds like me. I'd like some new home related hardware, but expect nothing. I'll be pleasantly surprised with any home related anything. Yeah, that's kind of where I land right now too. You know, I think sometimes a lot of this stuff too, when it comes to like this real niche smart home stuff, it's not always like mentioned in the keynote, or they might not make a big deal out of it, but maybe there's a little blurb about something on one of the slides in the background or one of the overviews. That has happened before, so we might get some information there. And then sometimes we do get more information, you know, in the week, or you know, the week of WWDC. So that's something to definitely like just keep looking and paying attention to. So I'm sure we'll be discussing a lot in our Discord with any new updates and stuff like that. We'll all be kind of watching that pretty closely, and hopefully there will be some good stuff coming out, because there's a lot of room for improvement. Yeah, Raul says GTA 6 is going to come out before the next Apple Smart Home update. Hey, I can't even argue. I know it, man. I know it. I feel you. Let's look at some questions here. I think we got some more questions. Mark Fetter, back to the rumors here, asked hearing any rumors on what might change with Home. So, excuse me, I almost said Home OS. That's been a rumor, but I don't pay a whole lot of attention, honestly, to the rumors, because like we've literally been hearing about Home OS, the new smart home operating system for Apple smart home devices, for years now, literally years. So I just don't really pay that much attention anymore to rumors, because I don't know. We've heard rumors about a new like a Apple doorbell and an Apple smart camera. I don't think we're going to see that anytime soon. Of course, I could always be wrong, but I don't think we're going to see that anytime soon. I do think, you know, the next hardware devices we'll see will probably be, you know, a new HomePod or a new HomePod Mini, new Apple TV, updated Apple TV, the device with the screen, hopefully, maybe this year, probably maybe next year. I don't know when that'll be, but those will probably be the next devices. As far as what might change with Apple Home, it's really, there's so much potential and so many things that they could change. I haven't heard any rumors specifically on stuff that'll change, but I hope the updates with Siri will bring some we have heard that there's should be some updates with shortcuts, and so I hope that'll kind of cross over and play into like Apple Home automations and some new things that we can do over there as well. That'll be nice. But I really haven't heard anything concrete as far as the software goes. Yeah, I mean, it totally makes sense. Larry says it would make sense for them to come out with Home OS during during WWDC. That way they could come up with some new HomePod in September during the hardware release. Absolutely, I totally agree. Yeah, I would love to see that, and maybe there will be an announcement with, you know, the product coming in the fall. That's certainly possible. I like to set my expectations and your expectations as well. You know, I would rather be pleasantly surprised than pissed off. So we'll see. But yeah, that's absolutely something they can do, and I would hope to see that. And especially if there is a new smart home, you know, Home OS type of operating system, it would absolutely make sense for them to mention that and bring that out during WWDC, the developers conference. Again, will they? I don't know, but we can hope. Yeah, Mike asks, isn't WWDC generally more about software announcements, not hardware? It is. It's about. So it's the developers conference, so it is about software. They'll be talking about iOS, you know, the next version of iOS and all that, tvOS and all that stuff. So, you know, usually smart home stuff, if at all mentioned, is grouped into like the tvOS and HomePods and stuff. So there might be some stuff there. Again, maybe they'll come out and say like, we're going to have this whole new operating system for smart homes. And look, it's going to run on this device right here, a little HomePod with a screen on it. Maybe, and maybe not. And then they'll be like, it'll be available, you know, later this year in the fall. That would be like the best case scenario, I think, for WWDC as far as I'm concerned, but we'll see. Yeah, energy monitoring would be good. Wishful thinking. That's right. We got to stay positive here, right? Let's see if we got some more questions here. Raul asked earlier, do you still use the wireless Nanoleaf Smart Sense Plus smart switch? I've always had problems with it showing disconnected symbol in the Nanoleaf app. It's hit or miss with my skylight. Actually, Raul, I switched and I stopped using that one. It worked really well with the skylight. I have the skylight here in the studio, and it worked really well for me, but to me, the battery life wasn't as good as I would have hoped it would have been after using it for a while. So I ended up switching it because like I had it basically installed. I don't know if you saw the video I made on it, but I had it installed where it was basically like where my light switch is. So that way I could just remove it and carry it around. I actually never removed it. It always just stayed right there where my light switch was. So I ended up just replacing that with the Aqara 4-button H2 switch, the smart switch. And that's a hardwired switch, so I don't have to worry about batteries dying. And it has the smart bulb mode, so I can just keep constant power to the ceiling light, and I can program the buttons to, you know, turn the skylight on and off, and some of the other buttons also control like all the other lights here in the studio. So that's been a really good solution for me. Again, that's that Aqara H2. It's the 4-button switch, and I have it hardwired for that ceiling light. Dan said, will there be a meetup in Austin? Oops, let's pull that back up. That would be cool. It does seem like there is a lot of folks from Texas here in the chat every week. Let me know in the chat if you're in the Texas area, or will be maybe for that CSA Matter event. Would you be down for a meetup? Let me know. Drop a comment in the chat, and if you're watching this after the stream and you're in the area and you would be down, leave a comment on the video, and let's see, maybe we can do something like that. That'd be fun. I think there's going to be a couple other people there that I know, so yeah, that would be awesome to do a meetup. Let's see. Frederick's down. All right, Frederick. John. Dan would be there. Okay. I see most of you guys commenting, I think, are channel members. So I'll definitely if we're able to do something, I'll definitely post somewhere on the Discord or on the member page as well, but I'll also try to post it somewhere, maybe on like my YouTube community page, or tell you what, on Instagram for sure. So if you're in the Texas area, make sure you follow me on Instagram. So I'll definitely share over there if we're able to do something like that. Yeah, I think hopefully we'll have enough time. This is my first of, it's actually the first Matter CSA event that they've done like this, so I don't really know 100% what to expect, but I think we'll have enough time we might be able to do something like that. Sigmund said maybe the rest of us can jump on a FaceTime. Yeah, maybe we can do a live stream. Might have to. I don't know if I can do a live stream from there, a YouTube live stream, but maybe an Instagram live stream or something. We might actually have to skip a live stream during that week. Oh, nice. Raul used to live near Austin. Mark says, when I go to IFA, should have a few days in the UK for a UK meetup. That would be fun. Would be fun. I don't know. It's such a long trip. We'll see. That might be cool. Last time when I went to Berlin, I did 10 days there, which is honestly a pretty long time. It was nice my first time going to Berlin. I had enough time to go to the conference, plenty of days, and I was also able to go see the city. I hung out with my buddy Eric, Modern Day Tech, and a few other content creators too while I was there. So it was great to have enough time. I don't think I'll go for that long this year, but I do hope to go again for sure. Tom said, what day of the week is it again? Gosh, I don't even know. I'm so bad at planning out stuff like this in the future. June 16th through 18th. So what day is that? June 16th through the 18th. I think it's in the middle of the week. I'm pretty sure. I think we're coming back on like Friday, if I'm not mistaken. But it's June 16th through 18th. Gosh, that's coming up soon. It's crazy. It's already June. All right, yeah, we got some UK folks here in the chat. We'll be down for a meetup. Gareth Evans says, is there any smart door locks that work with a PVC door? I'm just looking up what a PVC door is because I'm not 100% sure. I guess these like foldable doors, is that right? I don't know anything that would work with something like this. Yeah, I'm not sure about this one. If that's the right kind of door. Sorry. Probably not much help there. Wild Bill said, can you do a video on the Tailwind IQ3 PoE garage door openers? I have them and they work great. Awesome, man. I really do want to do this. I've just had so many things going on. I haven't been able to replace my garage door opener. I kind of want to replace my garage door opener before taking the step of redoing. I mean, I guess I could do it anyways. Yeah, let me look into that. I really like my Tailwind. Is it IQ2? I guess is the previous model name. I really like that a lot. Would be pretty cool to use PoE to get the thing to work. So, and I've heard great things about the new model. So, yeah, I'm gonna try to remember to maybe make that happen. Even if I don't get my garage door replaced, my garage door opener replaced, I could still probably do that video. It would just be kind of nice to do it all together. I really want to do something about that garage door opener in the garage, but we'll see. A lot of projects that need to get done. $250 Rim says, what smart button would be really good for just turning the lights and to maybe turn on and off? Turn on lights and turn a few devices, I guess, on or off. IKEA or Third Reality from North Carolina. Awesome, North Carolina in the house. It probably depends. Well, I guess if you like, let's see, you said IKEA or Third Reality. Okay, yeah. It might depend on what protocol you want to use. If you want to go with Thread, obviously the IKEA devices would be good to go. Just simple buttons, the little IKEA buttons. They also have that scroll wheel one, which I haven't had a chance to use that. But just the little, let me see. I got one right over here. I honestly haven't even really been using it lately. But this one from IKEA, I mean, would be fine. You know, you got double click, long press, and all that kind of stuff. 2 buttons here. That would be fine if you like using Thread. If you would prefer Zigbee, then Third Reality is great. I really like the Third Reality stuff also. Very reliable. I've used a bunch of the Third Reality. I've actually been using more and more Third Reality stuff. So really any of the smart buttons, you know, it's may come down to like the form factor, how it looks, depending on where you're going to put it, may determine which one you want to get. And aside from that, I would just look at the protocol and get whichever protocol you want best, kind of narrow it down from there. You know, do you want Zigbee? Do you want Thread? You know, maybe something else. So it kind of depends. R-Lane said the scroll wheel gave me issues, but the double button works great. Palmakit said the same thing. Yeah, I would imagine that scroll wheel will be a little more complicated to set up and may present more issues. I can definitely see that. I probably wouldn't expect to be able to use that to like dim the lights and stuff like that too easily. I don't know. I could be wrong, but I can see that presenting some issues. But yeah, if you have a good Thread network, the Thread button, I mean, they're so affordable. It's, you know, it's hard to beat. And John says Third Reality is good for battery. Yeah, battery life on the Third Reality stuff has been really good. M.E. Corey G says ask the best garage door lock for the entry into the house needs to work with Home Assistant and a deadbolt, non-SwitchBot. Man, there's so many good smart locks out there these days. I actually was going to mention the SwitchBot one. I like their new one, not the other ones, because the other ones did require a hub, which they're still great if you have a SwitchBot hub. But the new ones support Matter over Wi-Fi. And you said no SwitchBot, so I won't go into detail there. But there's just a ton of them, and I would just say narrow it down to what features are most important to you. You know, you've got locks with ultra wideband. Well, not many, but you've got like ultra wideband unlocking on the Aqara U400. You've got Apple HomeKey for a lot of smart locks. And then you've got a lot of them that don't have those features, but may have other stuff like facial recognition. You know, the palm vein unlocking is one. So like the Whatley locks are good for that. Again, the new SwitchBot ones have the palm vein unlocking. If you want something just more basic, Dreame, even I've got one right here. Dreame even has some new smart locks. I did a video on the other model. This is the light model right here, but I did a video. Actually, I put it on my garage door into the house, and the other model actually has a fingerprint. So this one doesn't have a fingerprint, but it works with Apple Home. And is this one? Oh, this one actually does support HomeKey. Okay, so that's the difference. This one supports Apple Home and HomeKey. Their other one that I used supports Matter, It's matter over thread, which is nice. And it doesn't have home key support, but it's a lot more affordable than some locks. So, you know, it just kind of depends. I would say depending on your features you want, budget. The Aqara U400 is probably my favorite smart lock, but it's really expensive. But there again, I don't need ultra wideband unlocking on my garage door because like I very rarely use that. I very rarely lock that door. Honestly, I really just lock it like at night or when I'm leaving the house or something. So, and I don't use it to enter the house much. So it just kind of depends on your features, but there's a lot of good ones out there. Yeah, all the Aqara locks I've been pretty happy with, but I think if I was going to go with a new lock, I would probably get one of the Aqara ones that support like matter over thread. I don't know that I'd get one of the older ones like the U100. I mean, they're still good locks if you have an Aqara hub, but you could get stuff like Dreame, you know, at a really affordable price and still get matter over thread or Apple Home with home key support on this one. Yeah, it's hard to narrow it down. It kind of depends on what you're looking for. Emmy Corey G says, I like SwitchBot in the Vision, but seems like overkill for just the garage lock. Yeah, so I mean, if that's the case and you don't care about all that, you could definitely save some money. Check out that Dreame lock. I did a video on that a few weeks ago. It's a lot more, it's probably one of the better, I'd say, budget-friendly locks. It's not perfect. There's some things I don't like about it, but all in all, for just a garage door or something like that, you know, matter over thread, works with Home Assistant like you need it to and all that stuff, could be a good one. Yeah, Wistedia says, love the U400 even if you don't want or need ultra wideband. I agree, but honestly, I don't know that I would pay the money for the U400 smart lock if I didn't need ultra wideband. That is definitely the standout feature on that lock. It's fantastic. Absolutely love it. I mean, I guess it does still have Apple Home Key support and a fingerprint sensor. So you do get that, I suppose. But you could probably get that on cheaper locks that don't have ultra wideband. I don't know, just something to consider. But it does also support matter over thread, so that's good. Oh, dang. Tom is not happy with the U400. Stand at the door for sometimes, probably 10 seconds before the ultra wideband kicks in. Seem to be the only one with the problem. Yeah, I've loved my lock, my U400, and I've heard pretty much only good things from other people as well. So I don't know if there's maybe some settings or something, or I did hear some people who had some weird issues depending on how their steps and their front porch were at first when it first came out. And then they had some firmware updates that kind of improves some of those scenarios that are like a little more unique, it seems like. Yeah, that's another one. Nuki is really good. And that's another thing to consider is do you want like a retrofit version or do you want a full lock replacement? There's pros and cons to both. You know, with a retrofit option, you probably have to get some sort of keypad or something to put somewhere on the outside, where with a full lock replacement, like the new one from SwitchBot, it's all in one. You don't have to like mount a keypad somewhere. But if you do want a retrofit one, then you know, you can still use your existing key. You don't have to get your lock rekeyed and all that stuff. The Nuki is a really good retrofit lock. Also, I think the U200 from Aqara is also a good retrofit lock. Let's see, what are some other, and the SwitchBot's what is it? The SwitchBot Lock Ultra. That's also a good retrofit lock, but that one I think does require a bridge, a SwitchBot bridge, whereas the other ones are matter over thread. Yeah, I think I got that right. Yeah, the others are matter over thread. So, you know, lots of options. The problem is not lack of options when it comes to smart locks these days. Let's see if I missed any. Yes, and a reminder, thank you, Frederick, for the channel members. Just to recap, again, we have about 30 minutes after today's live stream, we'll do our members video chat over there in Discord. So all you channel members, come hang out if you're available this afternoon. I hope to see you guys over there. Let's see if I missed any other big questions. I might have some of the... Mike asked earlier, if when adding devices from a Zigbee mesh, do they all have to be the same brand? It just depends on what you're using. Like if you're using Aqara Zigbee devices with an Aqara hub, then they all do need to be Aqara Zigbee devices. But if you're using something like Home Assistant, you're a little more advanced. You can use any type of Zigbee coordinator, a Zigbee dongle, Zigbee stick, whatever you want to call it. And in that case, it does not matter. You can use Zigbee devices from any brand, or if you're using Homey or Home Assistant, something like that. So it kind of depends on the scenario there. Okay, I hope that helps. Yeah, Nuki is a very nice look. Yeah, the Nuki might be the best looking and the best feeling retrofit smart lock. Mr. Jones says, are we considering the Schlage Sense Pro vaporware at this point? I want to look at the Sense Pro. Is that the one that was supposed to be ultra wideband? Yeah, I think it was. When was that introduced? CES 2025? Yeah, I'm not holding my breath for that one. Not anymore at this point. It will be interesting to see though. I'm kind of surprised we haven't seen more ultra wideband smart locks available. Probably will be more, I would imagine, in the near future. But we'll see. And yeah, I mean, we got a lot of stuff to look forward to. Hopefully this last half of this year is going to be a really exciting one with hopefully some new Apple Home stuff coming, Siri updates, some new exciting smart home products. I'm sure we got IFA coming here, which will be in September. And yeah, it's just, I don't know. I'm really excited to see where this goes. I think it's definitely time in terms, especially with Apple Home. And I don't know, it's just exciting. Anytime Apple gets into something, it kind of steers the whole industry in a lot of ways. And it's time. It's time for them to get their hands deep into the Apple Home, smart home world. So we'll see what happens. I'll be there watching. We'll check back next week, same place, same time as always, and we can talk about it all next week. Thank you guys all for tuning in to the live stream. Channel members, we'll see you a little while over on the Discord server. Hope you all have a great rest of your day and have a great week. God bless.